Welcome, you 5,300 or so people that follow the channel, along with anybody else that may come along and see our channel, which is probably, I don't know, slim to none, because it's hard for our videos to get bumped up very high. But welcome to Built on Faith Homestead, or Leaving Egypt, depending on which video platform you like to watch your content on. My name is Justin, and in today's video we're going to talk about something that most of you already knew, but just in case you didn't, maybe you'll learn something here today. Have you ever heard somebody say something along the lines of all of the world's leaders, right, are pedophiles at the end of the day? It's like a pedophile organization. You ever heard somebody say that and you go, nah, surely not, right? Well, it seems as though a former UN official says that seems to be the case.
Was blind, but now I see.
All right, so let me show you the picture and profile from the UN of this guy. I'm not going to attempt to say his name because I'm just going to admit my hillbilly tongue will not allow his name to come out of my mouth. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but my mouth won't work that way. So you can pronounce it however you want to, I guess. And now we will show you a short video. He says who he is and what is going on in the world. First, who he is.
Well, our interview partner is a former high-ranking member of the United Nations. His name is Călin Georgescu, and it is best to talk to someone who knows from personal experience what he's talking about, rather than to talk to someone who just has ideas about what is going on inside the United Nations. Călin, you used to work at the United Nations. What exactly did you do there?
Well, I serve this institution, thank you for your question, 17 years, almost 18, if I can say. I started in Romania, in the United Nations Development Program. Exactly the same situation with the Club of Rome, another important NGO.
And you were also a member of the Club of Rome.
And also I was the president for Europe of the Club of Rome for almost 2.5 years in Vienna.
So this guy at least seems like he is somebody from a position that is able to talk about the reality of the situation at the UN. So let's hear what he has to say, at least one of the things. I would encourage you to go watch the whole hour-long interview. I don't agree with everything he's saying. However, if you will take the time to listen, it may open your eyes up a little bit.
The problem is that these oligarchs, all of them, are related with the system of the pedophilia one. Because we know that there are more than 8 million children per year which they disappear. 8 million does mean the entire population of Austria.
All right, so the part that I really wanted to focus on was that he admits that the world's leaders, right, you got your whole World Economic Forum, UN, they're all the same people. He says this in his interview. They are all a part of a pedophile ring, basically, a pedophile club. It's almost like a gang initiation for these guys, right? It's a terrible thing. And see, I wish I was making these videos just for like shock factor, and I was making them just to get attention or whatever, right? But that's not the case. I make these videos because I want you to understand the reality of the world that you live in. I don't want you to have your head stuck in the sand like an ostrich, pretending like it's not going on. Now, I believe that the UN is already our global governance system. All of our U.S. policies and procedures and laws and all of that, it's all coming from the UN. You go and read the UN Sustainable Development Goals especially, and then go read our policies that are being put forth and into law. It'll make sense. I also think this is why people like Target and Anheuser-Busch, knowing they're going to lose money, still continue their propaganda because it is part of the Sustainable Development Goals. Also, in that same interview, this individual states that anytime the UN is saying one thing, they kind of mean the opposite, right? So if they say they are trying to move us towards like sustainable energy, they're actually trying to move us away from sustainable energy. If they say they're trying to create peace, they're actually trying to create havoc so that they have a reason to be there. Those kinds of things, right? And so it's almost as if, like I said, this pedophilia is like a gang initiation for these guys. It's terrible. So you say, why are we talking about this? Because my channel usually focuses on things more like the homesteading stuff and how some of this all relates to biblical prophecy as far as the things that's going on in the world, right? But I want you to understand, if the UN is that governmental system being set in place, even if it is just a placeholder for the eventual one world governmental system that may be to come, right? We know a worldwide governmental system is already here. We know that so we already know that there's a worldwide governmental system here, but there may be some changes, tweaks to it in the future, biblically speaking, as far as the Antichrist and his false prophet and all of those things go, right? We understand that. But I want you to understand that the UN, you need to know the tree by the fruit that it produces, right? We know an apple tree is an apple tree because it has apples. We know an orange tree is an orange tree because it has oranges. Let me give you this example. I cannot stand celery. It is some disgusting, nasty stuff to me. And whenever I talk about like serving the Lord, I would think to myself, and I have said, you can't be planting celery seeds and expect tomatoes, right? The UN, the United Nations, the fruit that they are showing seems to be that is wrapped up in pedophilia and crimes against other people's bodies is probably the most G-rated way I can say that. And I'll show you that clip here. All you have to do is a quick Google search. It don't take long. According to this former UN guy, everybody around the world just needs to say no to the UN and not consent to the craziness that they are trying to push forward. Of course, you go watch the interview and come up with your own opinions. However, I do want to expose the sin. And I'll say this, any group that is posing to be good, any, whether it be secular or religious, any group that is posing to be good, but their fruit over and over and over again goes against Scripture, then they are not following the things that God laid out for us to do. In any secular group that's claiming to be good, yet is producing the fruit of pedophilia over and 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 over again, is not good. And you need to learn to be able to judge a tree by its fruits. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next video.